Sometimes the best way to warm up is just to move your body, no matter what that means. Woo! And at this course here for day 8 of Vlogmas, it's really easy to get out and move your body and get warmed up for an awesome round. And one of my favorite designs that when it's in shape plays really well, but when it's not, has all the teeth you expect out of a Texas course, and sometimes some would say too much. That's right, you guys. For day 8, we find ourselves at East Metro Park in Manor, Texas, one of the Austin City Parks courses, and one of my favorite designs in terms of the variety it has to offer here in Austin. Definitely a little bit more of a rough on the edges course than some of the other courses in the city limits, but I think it does a good job challenging so many aspects of your game. It has one of the most amazing par 5s in the city on the course, and I think as long as you come play it during the winter time, which is typically when I play it, you shouldn't see too many snakes or any of the other crazy wildlife out here. So come play in the winter when it's all dolled up and ready, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Many of you guys can probably tell, thanks to Megan scissoring me up today. That probably sounds ridiculous. Many of you guys might have noticed already, but I no longer can house a field mouse behind my head here. Megan chopped me up this morning. Big thanks to her for making me feel light and you know, handsome again. That's good. I was feeling a little crazy, so thanks to Megan. I don't know if I would have been able to put that dunk down if I had all that hair still, so you know, I owe her doubly. And here we are, hole 1, East Metro Park. This gap grows in and in every time I play it, and this is as narrow as I've ever seen it, the way these oaks are maturing to choke it in. I usually don't look at this big hyzer line, but today it really has me eyeing it. I think hitting a gap shot though will be a great way to warm the skills up and get ready for the rest of the course and some of those technical lines. I'm gonna throw MD3 here off the tee. Just looking to hit my line, keep it straight, and yeah, put myself right in the middle there. No playing around today, straight to business. You know, a disc golf course is not a walking path, but it does make a really good walking path. And at the end of the day, if you're getting out and moving, as long as you're respectful of others, maybe on a crowded day with a lot of cards out there on the course, you don't just keep walking through. But I'm literally the only person on the course right now. Not a single other car in the disc golf parking lot. I think East Met doesn't get nearly as much love as it should in Austin, because I think a lot of players, you come play in the summertime, you're like, wow, I'm never going out there again. Not a ton of shade cover, a lot of kind of lower canopy trees, mesquite, cactus, a lot of thorny stuff waiting to prick you on the edges of the fairway. And yeah, it's just a kind of different style of course. It reminds me a little bit of Hillside in a way. It reminds me more of Hillside than it reminds me of other courses in Austin, to tell you the truth. Just the terrain, the kind of soil makeup, all the little loose rocks kind of laying on top of the soil everywhere. We have 350 in. You can see the basket straight ahead. Low ceiling brought in by that prominent mesquite cluster there in the middle of the fairway. I don't really like that. I'm gonna go up to the sky here, left to right wind, Nuke OS, and I'm gonna pop it flat and kind of stall fade it at the basket. Left to right, kind of shifting to headwind, so. And now I'm seeing right to left. All right. I think it's mainly off the head. So I'm gonna go a little wider actually. I'm gonna bump up to the regular Nuke, not the OS, so I can get a little more flight out of this disc. Try to use that headwind, help me crest that oak tree top. Hey. Skirted by the side of it, and now dropping down, go in. Oh, caught one of those fairway trees on the edge as I was swinging down towards the basket. Thought I had a chance to go in. We got some kind of a putt though, and Always good to be in the fairway here at Manor, East Metro, whatever you want to call it. Harvester friends moving slow. That's how you know it's cold. I'm so happy when I looked at the forecast this morning. I see today is kind of the last day in the 50s, because today it's 52, and by the snot coming out my nose, you can probably tell that it's pretty cold for this Texas boy. I feel like it was going to be not too big of an issue today, but a lot of moisture still hanging around from the last couple days. Still have that northern wind, but it looks like the next couple weeks we are in for quite the treat, like mid to upper 60s, low 70s. It's gonna be nice. And you know what else is gonna be nice? Busting out this fresh AB Focus, kind of like a snowflake white, if you will, for Vlogmas. Figured I'd bust it out. It was about time for a new stable focus for those closer putts, and this one seems to match the Vlogmas theme in my mind. Oh, I thought you were gonna catch our first C2 with it. It was a good bit. If you're into like flint napping or anything, this course just has littered with flint chert everywhere. You guys let me know in the comments how to tell them apart if you know how, because I think it's pretty hard from what I understand. To my knowledge, I think flint is just supposed to be like a really dark color, whereas chert can kind of have a bunch of different colors. You see like a lighter color, darker, you'll see like reddish colors. I want to say that's the difference, but you guys confirm for me so I can learn with and through you. Big beautiful Texas persimmons here. You catch them at the right time of year, the time of year that's probably the least fun to play this course, like late summer. You might be able to eat some ripe persimmons. Apparently they're really tasty. I'm gonna try one out next time I see one. I've always been afraid. I didn't know they were edible until just recently. You guys help me learn about these rocks. I'll help you learn about the trees and scoring birdies. You know, that's what I'm here for. Except for that was a par, so I guess I'll have to get one on the next hole. I mean, if I was gonna see like a big cat at any course in Austin, this probably feels like the one. And there's a hairy poop right there. So y'all tell me, who poops out hairy poop around here other than bobcats and possibly the bigger cat? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And yes, we do have them around here. You're just rarely gonna see them. Even if you're within a couple hundred feet, you probably will rarely ever know it's there. And that's what's spooky. Apparently this tee was also a litter box for our resident kitty. Good thing we didn't even want to use that side of the tee box. It's fine, it's fine. I'm not even worried about it. But I'll be a good Samaritan and take this little mesquite branch. Go ahead, broom it all. Y'all are welcome. Hole 2, 355 feet. There it is, dead straight ahead. One of my favorite holes on the course. Really nice to see that the soil isn't overtaking this tee right now. They must have cleaned it off for NADGT, and we haven't had too much rain since then. Could be good just to build up a tiny barrier around this one so that when the soil is coming down this path, it kind of pushes into this little grassy area and avoids being on the tee. And especially with all the downed logs we have, it wouldn't be that hard. I almost want to drag one over here right now, but I know I'm not supposed to be necessarily doing that kind of stuff, but should I? Feels like the right thing to do. Sometimes the hero does something technically illegal. You just gotta decide how you want to view it, I guess. MD3, ripping straight at it, stepping through bobcat poop. Creek long, probably no water though. Oh, same MD3 shot kind of as hole 1, just the most beautiful laser. I love the flight of that disc so much. With the hair across die on there from my guy Zane, it's, oh, chef's kiss. Especially when you throw it like that. So I know this course is one of the few in Austin where they come through with prescribed burns and to help manage the dense undergrowth. So I guess these persimmons can handle it. They must be kind of built for that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of dominated by like 4 trees out here: the persimmon, the mesquite, the cedar elm, and those live oaks that you're gonna see hanging around, especially like in the more open kind of pastury areas. Here and there we get the junipers. I don't know if it's the cedar or the juniper here. We're far enough east. We could be dabbling into that range of cedar and not juniper. We're no longer on the kind of limestone soil, so I think that's a big part of what the ash juniper thrives on. You know, just some nerdy botany stuff for you guys. And you know what? If you guys don't like learning about the land around you, then maybe you're not in the right place watching the Cardinal YouTube channel, and so I feel sorry that you're not open-minded to learning about this beautiful world we live in. Because I want to do nothing but learn about it, and being out here playing disc golf just accentuates that feeling for me. Makes me want to learn more, not only about the game, but about my surroundings. Such a beautiful game. Getting you out, making you breathe, the fresh air, forcing you to move, getting you competitive if you want to, with yourself, with others. Very healthy. Disc golf. Yes. Approved. So the first hole, apparently I taught you guys how to take a par. Second hole, we got the birdie. That means there's only one thing left to do here. I'm going to show you guys how to ace hole 3, East Metro Park 274. You're looking at it. This riparian zone on the right. Any of the water bodies that are sometimes here are probably going to be dry right now. Maybe the deepest pools will have something. Pick your poison. Whatever you like to move slightly left to right. It's going to be a Luna for me, dog. Nice and firm. We do have a bit of a hill behind the basket, so you can get aggressive on this. Make sure you give it an ace run. So flat, you guys. Ah, that hurts my soul. We got to try a couple more for funsies. I love this hole. The Luna ain't gonna turn itself, you guys. That disc will turn. Ooh, got bodied by this little tiny oak tree right here. And deservedly so. That was a shameful miss. Spin. No ace this time. These couple persimmons right here have to be some of the coolest trunks that I've ever seen, hanging out on this little creek right here, getting eroded over time. And then it's like 2 or 3 trees that have kind of started to fuse together and form these little colonies. So neat. As you can see, you know, we always got to unload a couple discs at this one. It reminds me of 7 Hillside. Just every short, visually appealing aceable hole. If you're not giving it multiple runs, are you really having fun? I don't know, pars aren't that fun though, so is it worth it? Ooh, you guys, looks like someone maybe did some trimming here on this little limb. I don't know. Either way, I'm liking the over-the-top look here on hole 4, a hole that really wants you to play a setup hyzer before you throw a wooded approach left to right. Sorry, right to left off the tee, left to right off the approach. If you're playing the prescribed fairway, there's also this really advantageous big hyzer line that can give you eagle looks, and that's what we're taking today. I'm gonna bust out the green nuke, that's right, I said it, Megan. And we're jamming it. If we can beat these little tiny branches off the tee here, we're cooking. We're looking for Big Bird today. Hey! Lift, lift, go. Honestly, you guys, we might be down there with the long putt. Not sure if I'm in the little riparian creek or if I'm on the right side, little extra kind of pseudo fairway, but we'll see. That's so cool. I don't think I've ever seen that growth pattern on our prickly pear. It said, oh, you're gonna break me up top? Bet. Come mess with me down here. That's crazy. Right here is kind of that prescribed setup zone. You either choose to lay up short of this little creek or just on the other side. There's so much space up here. Until you get to these big trees, you can fly pretty clean. And even if you have huge power, you can get past those ideally on the backside. So that was where we were walking, what I was showing you. Then across this creek, there's also this other landing zone that leads you over to the basket. And so I kind of try to push my hyzer, like I said, around these trees. Usually end up somewhere like right up there when I have my best shots. But we got knocked down by this tree this time. And we are down in the ditch, so I'm gonna position you guys to see the basket for a chance that we chip it in. And then I'll be going down left into a hole as deep as I am tall. Y'all know that's deep. Actually, there's a log down. Another one of these don't try this at home scenario, kids. But I'm gonna take my lie 1 foot up on this log so I can stay up top. Other foot up here on the land. This is probably not a good idea if this log was smaller or not as fresh as I know it is. But here we are. Sometimes in life you just do stuff because you want to do your best at whatever you're doing, regardless of the outcome of what happens to your body. Fate. All right, no chipping, but gives us a good easy birdie, and we didn't fall. Okay, for birdie number 2 of the round on hole 4, gonna avoid straddling because I have this little pencil cactus behind here, and I don't want to kick little buddy because there's not too many that I've seen on the course so far. It's one of those cool native plants. Also has little edible tunas, you call them. So there actually is water in a lot of this little stretch. It's kind of cool to see. It holds water most of the year, even in the super dry spells. Okay, hole 5, one of my favorite holes on the course. Short par 3. More open than I've ever seen it, but don't fall for the bait with that little baby hyzer. The straight shot is the way, so you can avoid the late trees that'll knock you down into the creek. The creek's coming here in front of the tee, and then it wides off, creating a peninsula of land between us and the basket. Really cool features on this hole. I'm gonna go Luna. Air to chains. You heard it here. Air to ground and slide forward, and hopefully be in grounds for a birdie. Okay, that'll, that's a good miss. Really crazy. I'm sitting here looking. I'm like, what basket is that? And the most recent burn did a good amount of work inbounds. No water, so I guess you can't really be out of bounds unless they strung this one up. But very narrow peninsula, as you guys can see, not more than 15 feet, 20 feet at its widest up here near the basket. And really cool hole. But yeah, let me pan you guys over. You used to not be able to see this basket. It was dense vegetation. I didn't even know hole 9 was right there. And now you can see that band over there hanging through the trees. Crazy. I feel like after a lot of this vegetation loss and some of this burning, prescribed or not, East Metro is probably getting to the point where maybe soon we can think about a slight redesign if they ever want to put any money back in this park, which is a chance. It's just super endearing, and I think a little bit of stretching and changing here and there, and we can make arguably one of the best courses in the area, if not the best, with the right design. So, hit me up. Let me get a chance. Let me show you what I got. Let me show you what I got. Hole 3, 211. Anyone who played this hole back in the day will tell you how much easier it is. It's like Met Center in a nutshell. Apparently what it used to be versus what it is, and steeplechase as well. Lost a lot of trees here, and you can see them growing up from the stumps, which is good. Eventually we'll get some more trees blocking this line again, if we can manage the land well. Pick your poison. Forehand, backhand, baby hyzer, baby anhyzer. I'm going baby anhyzer with orange dreamsicle, because a player can dream, right? Because a player can dream, and he can drag his foot and park the hole and take his easy birdie and move on to the next hole. Man, this hole used to be something, you guys. Now we need to tuck it back or do something. But who knows? We'll get there. We definitely could easily tuck the basket back a little bit here and not really have to change to the tee. Just add a new sleeve in the ground, and that ain't too hard out here with the topsoil we got in Maynard. It's definitely not as hard as picking up a disc after scoring a birdie, apparently. And we're cruising. Hole 7, always been a ton of fun to throw, in my opinion. It's 578 feet from this long box, uphill the entire way. You got to beat that mesquite tree in the middle. Off the tee, pick a side, most players choosing the left, not only for the added width, but for the extra ceiling as well. Opens up the sideline to the basket, so a lot of advantages to that left side. You'll see forehands, you'll see backhands here, whatever you feel comfortable with. We've got some tailwind today. I think because of the low nature of the shot, I don't want to go too flippy, but I do want some stand up on my backhand. So I'm going to go with the green Athena here. Shout out OTB East, got that custom stampery on there. Messing with the stamp machine, always so much fun. Well, I told you guys I was going to be low, and I proved that missing low on par 4s is just fine, because we're going to have a chance at birdie still. Dissected the hole into 2 shots. Really the only option here. It's not an eagleable hole unless you toss it in. I have spike hyzer available, forehand, backhand. Also, the middle gap is as clean as it's ever been. Only 1 tree trunk in the way. There used to be 2 or 3 maybe. And some bigger trees on the left as well, kind of crowding the line. So, used to be a bit of a harder approach. Nowadays, take a straight flying putter, something like an Envy that you can put some power into. And put some turn on it down that left side gap. Down that left side gap, not up that left side gap, buddy. Released way too high, kind of let my body match the angle of the hill instead of really getting forward into that weight there, and might cost us a stroke unless we make a long one. Long opportunity, slightly uphill. Let's give it all we got. I gave it all the spin it needed, and now I made myself have a comebacker because I hit no angle. Goodness gracious. So, I feel like the times where this course becomes tougher to play are when, I don't know the name of this plant, but these little things I used to use as my arrows and my bow and spears for throwing at my brothers. These plants, little styrofoam reed guys, grow really fast, and in one season they'll be taller than me. So now, what normally is an open putt is going to have all this stuff in the way. You can't just putt through them. But you can, if you learn how to straddle, kids. Un parte cuatro en all 7, 7. ¿Cómo se dice hole? Hole 8, one of my favorite holes in the city. We're in a par 4 location. You can see it way down there. Thick mesquite, thorn, briar rough on either side. You want to keep it in the middle. There's a bridge there in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see the left side of it. You want to clear that off the tee to give yourself an easy approach, but anything with a clean swing on the second shot you're pretty happy with here. You can get really aggressive. You can go fairway, mid, putter, however you want to play this one. Really just a matter of personal preference and personal expression, if you will. I'm going to go Athena. Toe the line of aggression and golf. That's what I like to do. Just looking to put it in the center past that bridge. A little bit of flip. Didn't get a flip. We'll have some kind of standstill forehand. Not the worst miss you can have. All right, you guys, wound up not too bad. I have pretty clean stance given the circumstance. Get it? Forehand available. Also, there's a spike hyzer backhand, so why not? I got 280, but a bit of a tricky run up, so I'm gonna go Firebird just to make sure I get it there. Hey, Get it there. Oh, for a second, had me thinking. Ooh. Here's our little pencil cactus with some tunas on it. Survived the fire. Good job, buddy. Really cool thing I noticed as I was looking down, I was like, wait, I recognize that leaf. Those are some little baby bluebonnets beginning their journey to glowing up the state come springtime. Birdie, wish it was in the par 5 location. Definitely makes it a eagleable par 5 that takes risk reward to go for and has a lot of score separation in the par 5. One of the best holes in Austin. So not only is there a new line to walk to hole 9, but there's a whole new line to throw. There's a dead straight shot available now after the last burning and clearing. And I don't hate it. This hole was always really awkward. Is this the tee? It feels different. I guess in the past, even the forehand felt really kind of forced to me, and I've always thrown a grenade here, which I'm gonna stick with the tradition of the grenade here. But more than ever, I'm thinking about other lines on this hole. I like kind of an understable grenade on this shot, something that I can get to move to the right a little bit after I release it. So I'm gonna go with the hatchet. I used to be a lot more versed in this shot, but we're gonna try to trust it here. Oh my God, you guys. I don't know how that disc just skipped like a forehand. Is that what they do? I got ground play skip off a grenade. That thing was terrible. But it worked out, and I don't want to throw another because my poor thumb hates them, so maybe I should just retire that shot after that one. That was pathetic, but somehow I'm gonna birdie. Ooh, look what we found. Blue for birdies. Clean that bad boy up. Add it to the bag. Y'all know how we do. We need a new feather. We lost the turkey feather, snapped in the round at the ranch in the chaos of getting in and out of the cart and putting my legs over the wet bag and all that good stuff. So we got a new symbolic feather in the bag. One that represents birdie blue, our favorite color on the course. And the reason we usually choose the grenade here, even though that was so badly executed, I don't know if I've ever seen that exact play I just saw. Another part of the beauty of disc golf, you can play tens of thousands of rounds and you're always going to see little nuances of something new, something exciting. Get out today. Who knows what you'll see. Okay, hole 10 used to kind of be a fun tee shot. It's getting a little ridiculous. With these limbs now, we gotta trim these up. I don't know, whoever's watching this who has a say here in Mainer, please say something. Because this is no longer a good tee shot. What easily, with a couple feet of access, can be one of the more fun and challenging tee shots on the course. I'm gonna go to the forehand that they're forcing you into right now. There used to be some backhand lines, but not anymore. Try to get a baby flex on this Avelina Destroyer. Except for I skied the nose up. Ah! Wow. I'm gonna have to settle for my par. That was painful. This hole just feels like it doesn't have anything right now. Just gonna be forced to take my meds here. At least I'm gonna choose to, because I think that's probably smart. Just get my par, move on from this crappy tee shot hole. Ow! Just had a handshake with a thorn. That was nice. One of the most deathly approaches in all of Austin. I think they filled in a little bit of the creek that wraps around this basket, but it's like Ninja Warrior-esque green at times. I'm gonna go jam a faith up there. Jamming on hyzer. Hope it'll finish. No, instead I just laid up to the short side for the fun putt. You know, it's all gone to plan. All gone to plan. So you guys, this little moat used to be taller than me all around the basket. Now it's about a kiddie pool compared to the depths of challenge it once was. Kind of sad. It was a pretty cool green. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. But I understand maybe the safety hazard of it if you're trying to play tournaments and whatnot. Or people can just be athletic and find some balance. Maybe I can be athletic and find some balance and make a goddamn putt right here. This hole got me. The poison ivy from hell right here, just surviving without its old tree stump friend. More like friend of me, because that thing choked it out. Just like this hole choked a bogey out of me. Ooh, hurts my soul. Hole 11 out here at East Metro is a dual option par 3. I've always preferred this left side forehand for its cleanliness, even though it is the more narrow of the two gaps. It also plays away from the creek long left. I'm gonna go color shift zone. Try to ring it up. Gotta ring it up! Off the cage! That zone is just stacking it up. I got the play through ace on Simon. I got the go through ace with that thing. Go get one now, because I'm gonna buy them up tonight when I get home. So, OTBDiscs.com, code Connor, free shipping. Still a flag line here, so we'll honor it. But fortunately, my disc stayed dry. There's also some slightly flowing water right here. Where it's coming from, seeping through the ground somewhere. Come back, putt. Gonna take my little disc kick forward. Give myself better footing on this uphill lie. And one. Hit my own finger on the way down, so really I fouled myself. I'm not sure if that's an and one, but either way, we're calling it. Love the cone flag. Very effective for reading Texas winds, honestly. Hole 12 used to be a lot more narrow and demanding until it lost this big leaning oak tree right around where that trash can is up there. Pretty decent replacement in terms of an obstacle. You know, you just avoid that trash can, keep the disc on hyzer, get you a big skip here. I'm just gonna go with Pioneer. Don't need to do too much off this tee, just looking to keep it in the middle, give myself a little tunnel approach to the downsloping green. Little high and flat. Oh my god, backside of that tree? Holy cow, y'all. I better hope they burned a lot of things over there, because if not, I'm in trouble. So not only do we used to have this big leaning oak here, but there was another one right here in front of the trash can. You can see that other stump. So this hole was quite a bit harder, as you can imagine. All right, I'm just gonna try to chip up. I don't know if y'all can see me over here, but I think throwing for birdie's my best chance. Not trying to do too much on this shot. Little zone, Thomas Scuber. I think it was good. We got a par save, about 130 feet, and this is a purple faith shot if I've ever seen one. We tried, y'all, we tried. You know, as with any downsloping green, giving it a run on your approach is gonna come with its own risks. And I was willing to take those because we trust the abilities of the comeback. No. Trusted it. Just hung it barely right. Is that back-to-back bogues? No. We had the cage hit between. Oh yeah, I forgot to do my trick. Rewind. I've got to admit, this is as open as I've ever seen hole 13. You can probably take some kind of spike hyzer in. Used to be this daunting tunnel Part of the issue was you really needed to use the right side of this tee. We lost a tree on the inside that made you play even straighter, so you can really play a lot easier of a hyzer now. Still kind of a bad tee location with this tree right here, I think. Ideally, you can swing freely on the tee and not have to take 2 Oompa Loompa steps and then throw. But here we are. Gonna go zone. Zone, Oompa Loompa steps, take your birdie. Adjust, adapt, overcome. We also used to have this big leaning tree here in the way, and a couple more trees behind. This hole has probably taken the most impact on the score they used to take, and got the easiest in comparison after the big burning and clearing. Wow. You gotta get it up and give it a chance, dude. Come on. Here we have our harvester ant friends again. Now, a lot of times I kind of move certain things if people stick them in their nest, but in this case, this little stump in the ground is acting like a nice roof for them when it rains, and yeah, I think it's helping them out, so I'm not going to touch it. I don't normally interfere with nature unless I've seen it's been recently interfered by another human, and I can switch it back to its original state. You know, that's why I try. We got a couple more feathers here. I wonder if you guys know what these are off of. Those are beautiful. Maybe a little peregrine swooped down, grabbed some, and lost a couple feathers in the process. Looks like a likely case. We let that birdie get away, but we ain't gonna let this one. Though it is the shortest hole in the course, 170 feet. It's actually kind of technical and tricky. Bit of an inside-out hyzer for the righty. For the lefty, kind of a flip-up hyzer that stays on hyzer. I'm gonna go flippy faith. I've always wanted to ace this one. Why not today? Oh, it's such a good disc selection here, but I was early out of the hand. And we're down there putting. Hit the main V gap. The rest will have to work. We gotta throw another for the gram though. Just like that. Woo, that was close. All right, I lied. Two more. Oh, I thought I might get my first tree kick ace. Now I will say, if you're trying to play this course later in the day, be aware, because the park is pretty strict about closing at sunset, and they'll kind of track you down in the cart and tell you to leave. I've had it happen before. I told the guy, dude, I've got one more hole. Come on, I'm gonna run. I promise. I'm not gonna take forever. Anyways, here we are. On the undulating green of 14. That second shot was close. Got this bad boy. Was hoping for the little bounce back, you know. No, just kidding. Her shot, a little bit wide, but it was the right disc for the job. And because of that, we're gonna take our birdie. Pick up my other ace run over here. Thought I was gonna get my first ever tree kick on the purple one. 4 holes to go. We got a par 4 here, not the longest at 481, but not a lot of options. You're gonna have to take that left to right moving shot off the tee and probably get some ground play because of the way this canopy comes in on you. Slight uphill straight shot into the green. Really need a good tee shot here. I'm gonna go hyzer flip forehand with the cloud breaker. Wow, that was so inside. But thankfully, due to all the clearing, I just cleared to a really good spot. That's right, you just used cleared 2 times in a row because my braid has no uniqueness. I've always loved the big, like, scarecrow nature of this big oak tree. The big arms coming out to grab you, and apparently throwing it short as crap is the new play here, or inside as crap I should say. because I've never been this far up the fairway. Faith chipping, let's do it. Woo, we tried, y'all. We sure done did try. Maybe I should have gone forehand, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. Motto of life if you want it to be. Or you can just move on. Beautiful sunset vibes. Beginning. You gotta love playing on less than busy days. Left my MB on hole 7 earlier. And just ran back and got it. Pretty cool, refurbished old homestead here. I'd love to live here before anyone else would. I think we can say that for about anywhere though. Big harvester mound here. Be nice to my friends. I accidentally slid through them, so I'm sorry to anyone I mangled in the process. I like this green a lot more when there's a big prickly pear cactus at the foot of this mesquite cluster, because then it was like a bit of a deathy area that maybe is a little bit brutal, but at the same time created a good challenge. And then my putt would have been almost like a death feeling putt coming back, with the cactus behind acting as like water to the mind. Wet, but in a different way. Maybe East Metro's a little far for you and you got kids or whatever it might be, or you just want to make a day out of it because it is far for you. You can fish in these stocked ponds that they have. You can have the kids at the playgrounds, multiple different playgrounds. There's like a pool slash splash pad at certain times of the year. East Metro Park really does a great job offering a little bit of everything to the underserved east side of the Austin area. And yeah, I really love it out here. Also tons of soccer fields. I'm sure they got baseball, softball, and like, you know, they got hoops too. They got like between 3 and 5 covered courts. So rain or shine, get your hoop on out here at East Metro. Hole 16 has to be one of my favorite par 3s out here. 384 feet down the pipe. The higher you fly, the wider the ceiling gets. And because of that, I like to throw a slower disc, like a mid-range, to maintain that straight flight, even with a slight nose up release. MD3. Just fly, disc. Just fade now. And just fillet the hole. Oh, shoot, we almost got thrown in by the trees. That was a sweet one. As you can see, we used to have another mighty oak here framing this gap and shading out the airspace on the left, but it has been fallen and sectioned off. Has a nice little obstacle on the green. One of my favorites, like I said, nothing beats nutting that straight shot. Nothing beats it. Hole 17 has always been a difficult tee shot, but it's playing as crammed as ever the way these limbs are coming in. I'm almost looking at some kind of like over the top play now. There's something left. There's definitely some hyzers to the right that are a little bit scary with this big oak in front of us. But I'm just gonna take the regular gap, show you guys why it's important to have something really overstable in your bag. Even though it's a straight shot, we can utilize overstability to beat the low ceiling here. Check it out, Nuke OS. Force it over. By the time it gets to the ground, boom, it's skipping back, versus if I throw more neutral, no chance can I play a skip like that. Little tip from Coach Connor for you. Hard to beat having this straight at it approach on hole 17. A lot of traffic that's coming in and out of here. You can tell that maybe the trucks, as they're making little roads to manage the burn and whatever. So it's got more consistent ground than maybe it used to here. I'm going Luna. Dead straight at it. Tailwind. Trust it flat. Trusted flat. Ah, but I was just barely left out of the hand. And now I'm going to be in the mesquite. You don't want to be there. I didn't take the hyzer. Tried to challenge myself. We like challenge. That's how you get better. Now that is a Texas-sized lie right there, y'all. Getting into the cacti here. Now, if you are playing tournaments around here, you're gonna be able to take some kind of relief back from the cactus in line with the basket. Fortunately here I can kind of stick my foot behind and just throw a little Brody Smith scuba salute at it. Go. That'll par. Lost our stroke on the last shot. And I didn't want to mess with these cactus. Uh-oh. We got one in the disc. I don't know if y'all can see that. Okay, just barely. Fortunately, no punctures. Still legal. And I don't know, even if the thing went through my disc, do y'all think it should be illegal if your disc gets punctured? Is that a big advantage as a player to have a disc with a hole in it? Apparently, there was a time when people were making holes in their discs and getting an advantage on players. Either that, or I'm not sure why that rule ever came about. But like Scott mentioned in the video we made the other day, sometimes people will be making rules when there's not actually a problem that the rule's solving. One final hole here to finish off a pretty epic course, East Metro Park Disc Golf. 688 up over the hill, gently sloping down for the second portion. You can play straight up the middle, or you can play some variants of like a stalling hyzer. It fades to the landing zone, which I'm gonna throw for you guys right now with the cloud breaker. Make sure I get it high and flat and get over the top of that real tall tree at the top of the hill there. Hey, a little bit of flatness to stall that left movement. And I didn't hear shrubbage on the landing. Hopefully it's a clean swing. If so, we'll have a power hyzer in. I did fail to mention that at the top of the hill, past this short tee pad, yes, the course does have 2 sets of tees. Really nice to have, and of course it doesn't have a lot of other courses around, especially as challenging as the longs can be for a prospective newer player. We have a bubble though, in the fairway to the left, and depending on how wide the bubble is, I may or may not have a shot here. Here, club breaker, club breaker. Where are you? There you are. Alright, not gonna have a backhand, but when in doubt, bust out the flex forehand route. Ain't that right? Am I right, y'all? Throw a disc that matches the evening sky, so you guys have no clue where it goes. Kneel down to avoid impaling your arm on a mesquite thorn. And give it the old whipperoony. Hold. That feels really good. Maybe not putting for the eagle, but easy birdie, worst case. Well, tragically, I appear to have noodle armed the life out of this one. I think this is my disc back in here. Oh yeah, it is. Unfortunately, we are deep in the stuff. Didn't have enough oomph on that forehand, I suppose. And now we're gonna be left not much. I'm gonna try to faith forehand Annie out of here. Hopefully you guys see it come back into play. Wish me luck. Move left. That actually felt decent. Hold on. Best scramble shot of my life. And now that I think about it, I don't even know if this one is a par 5. It might just be a par 4 and this is par save. At least it feels like it should be a par 4 for me. I could see it being a softer par 5, but I'm gonna call it par 4. 4 par to finish out day 8. And just like that, we're through 8 courses of this year's Vlogmas, counting down my top 15 favorite courses that I've played so far in Central Texas. Don't forget, if there's a course within 100 miles of Southwest Austin that I haven't tried yet, let me know. if it's one that you think stacks up or is better than some of these courses that we've played. East Metro, as I mentioned, a park that has a little bit of everything. If you've never had a chance to come out here, I highly recommend it. But of course, after you've tried out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 before, or if you just love the terrain out here and you want to come give it a shot because you don't like playing these crowded courses in the middle of Austin, guarantee this one won't be. So come check it out. Thanks you guys for being here. I always appreciate it. Vlogmas is a grind, and your comments and your viewership makes it all worth it. So from the bottom of my heart, appreciate y'all.